I want to tell you absolutely what I would not leave Yellowstone without seeing. Last year we spent 2 days in Yellowstone, one of which was a full 1-day epic where we drove the entire park, saw pretty much everything there was to see, and we definitely want to go back. Yellowstone was one of the coolest places that we've ever been able to go. It was so spectacular and massive, and it just feels like you're like jumping straight into a National Geographic magazine. It is truly, truly like one of the most unique places that I've ever been able to visit because it's so diverse in its terrain and its sights and attractions and everything. I mean, it is just awesome. I cannot recommend it enough. But what I wanted to do in today's video was tell you what I would consider to be the must-see things of Yellowstone. These are the 4 attractions, if I had to pick out something out of all of Yellowstone, that I would absolutely not leave Yellowstone without seeing the things on this list. Now, these things are going to be in no particular order, not from favorite to least favorite. These are my top 4 things that I would definitely recommend at seeing Yellowstone. Lamar Valley is known for its wildlife viewing. You're going to encounter all sorts of wildlife along this road. You can drive it, it has lots of different spots you can get out, look, different spots you can stop, search for different things, take some small little short hikes, and you're just going to continue down this road. We saw everything from wolves, tons of bison, there's bears that can be on it, all sorts of different wildlife is going to be along this route, and it's so beautiful, such an awesome drive. The total length between the Tower of Junction and the northeast entrance is about 29 miles. It's the only road in the park that is open year-round. The best time for viewing the wildlife is going to be early in the morning or later in the evening, and there were tons of people. We drove later in the evening into the dark. There were tons of people that were bringing chairs, binoculars, all sorts of nighttime wildlife viewing gear. Definitely recommend bringing that if you are going to go in the evening. Definitely don't do like we did. We forgot binoculars and I absolutely regretted it. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful drive. Any time of the day it's going to be great, but there's so much wildlife to be seen on this thing. It's absolutely nuts. Cannot recommend driving Lamar Valley enough. I would go so far as to say this list is in no particular order. Lamar Valley might be the number 1 for me. It's definitely something I want to go back. I want to see it in the early morning, and I want to go back a little more well equipped for the evening viewing. Next up on the list is going to be the classic, the most well-known thing in Yellowstone, Old Faithful. It's something I think you can't leave without seeing because it's just so iconic for what it is. Old Faithful blows up about 20 times a day. There are tons of other hiking trails and different spots around Old Faithful to view all sorts of different geysers. At Old Faithful in particular, there's a huge viewing area. You can be anywhere around it 360 degrees and you're going to get to see this thing blow up. There's no 100% prediction of when it's going to go, but typically if you get there and there's a huge crowd forming, it's getting close and basically you just have to wait it out. There is inside one of the gift shops, there is a estimated countdown timer, but again, it's estimated and it does blow up 20 times a day, so basically you do have to get there and wait. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law actually sat and waited, so they got to be up close for the explosion. My wife and I went and explored some of the other hiking trails around it and we saw it from a distance. There's a lot of hiking. You could spend a lot of time in this area, but Old Faithful itself is the main attraction. It's super family friendly. It's stroller and wheelchair accessible. There is paved paths to get to Old Faithful. Also, I would recommend keeping your kids close though if you do go do the other hikes because there is unstable terrain. Some of it's on wooden bridges and you don't want to step off of those because it can have some seriously detrimental consequences if you do. So definitely stay on the path. But again, all around Old Faithful is paved, and if you are doing the other hiking trails, just keep your kids close. At Old Faithful as well, there is tons of food options, there's some gift shops. It's going to be a great place to pick up any of your Yellowstone souvenirs, snacks, anything like that, so there is a lot to see and do just around Old Faithful by itself. The next thing on my list would be the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. This was the most, I think, epic scenic view that I saw in the entire thing. It's crazy how massive this thing really is. Along the road of the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone, there's tons of different points to pull over, park your car, and a lot of these spots, what's really great about them is you can just walk like a couple hundred feet from your car, see these views, get back in your car, drive a little bit, get out again. These are very accessible to anybody. I think any family member would be able to access some of these viewpoints and get this, amazing view. It is so, so beautiful. There's tons of little different trails. There actually are trails that will get you down closer to the falls. Those are a little bit more strenuous, a little bit longer of a walk, but those are available if that's something you're interested in. But all in all, the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone is just huge, and you need to see it to really take it all in. Pictures and video are not going to do this thing justice. It is so, so massive and beautiful. Fourth thing I would put on this list would be Grand Prismatic Springs. Grand Prismatic Springs is a very iconic thing. Everybody's seen it. It's a different geyser. Very, very colorful waters. Really, really beautiful. And the great thing about this is it's a super easy hike. There is basically a loop. It's all on wooden bridges and planks. It is wheelchair and stroller accessible, but again, keep kids close. You don't want them to step off of those planks. You don't want to slip and fall. They do get wet. So definitely keep an eye on your kids. Hold their hands, even if it's a backpack leash, whatever you have to do, keep your kids close. But again, it's super accessible. The hike is not very strenuous. It's just a small little walk. Taking this walk allows you to see Grand Prismatic Springs, as well as a lot of other geysers and hot springs in that little area. It's a really cool, unique spot. I loved it. And this, for me, when we were going to Yellowstone, was the one thing I said, I have to see this before we go. Also, there is a hike that does take you up to have like an overlook of Grand Prismatic Springs. Seeing it from the top is where you're going to get the best photo and really truly be able to see all the colors of that water, but you can get a really cool look at it being actually down on top of it as well. We didn't do the hike up top, definitely on our list for when we go back. I want to know what you all think. Would you consider these 4 landmarks the must-sees of Yellowstone, or do you think something else should have made the list? Let me know. Leave those in the comments down below. It's going to help me out, as well as help out the YouTube community or anybody watching this video. It's going to allow them to go down there, see what you all recommend and think. I can't wait to go back to Yellowstone. It's definitely on our agenda. We loved it so, so much. I do want to stress that I have a lot of Yellowstone content coming, because I did take a lot of video. It was in the fall, and I didn't post it yet, so I actually do have a lot of Yellowstone content coming. I hope to showcase Yellowstone National Park, as well as provide lots of tips and information for anybody out there planning or looking to go. So definitely subscribe and stay tuned if that's something you're into. I'm going to do a one-day epic guide and show you all the route that did allow us to view and drive the entire circumference of Yellowstone and pretty much see all your main big attractions. I want to show that full day as well as a guide so you can see what to expect on your trip. I have a lot more coming, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Also, if you enjoy my content here, check me out on TikTok as well. I post on YouTube and TikTok every single day. Sometimes it's full length on YouTube, sometimes it's a short, but on TikTok there is content every single day, so definitely watch that. I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch me, and I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please smash that like button. It's going to really help me out. It's also going to allow this video to reach a broader audience, so if there's somebody else out there who's looking to go to Yellowstone, this video can reach them as well. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this. I'm Alex from Boards, Bikes, and Hikes. See you out there soon.